it's true. But when you try to take him, let me tell you what he'll do. Bedad, he'll fight like Hades, 'cause he's Irish through and through. He's really rather tricksy, and he's rarely to be seen. Tread lightly if you chance upon the little man in green. He's really rather tricksy, and he's rarely to be seen. Tread lightly if you chance upon the little man in green. I think. And that's the one. All right. Oh. All right. There's a certain night in question. And I need the circumstances around it to be very, very clear. My ship, the Black Wolf, is not a pirate. She's an honest privateer. So on the night in question, I wish it understood, we were sailing under letters of marque duly signed by King Louis of France. So we were fully justified. So the night the Black Wolf sacked Port Royal was not an act of piracy, it was an honest act of war. I wish that clear. 'Twas the night the Black Wolf sacked Port Royal. Ah, lads, 'twas a wonderful ride. We drank all their rum, gave the women some fun, sank the ships and sailed out on the tide, and then we sailed out on the tide. When the Black Wolf sailed into the harbor, sure it's true that we meant him no good, for to plunder and raid are the ways of our trade. So we pillaged and took all we could. We pillaged and took all we could. Now the governor's guard moved to stop us, for to do so, of course, was their job. But allow me to say, no man stands in our way when we come to rampage and rob, when we come to rampage and rob. 'Twas the night the Black Wolf sacked Port Royal. Ah, lads, 'twas a wonderful ride. We drank all their rum, gave their women some fun, sank their ships and sailed out on the tide, and then we sailed out on the tide. Now the colony's wealth, it was guarded in a fortress both sturdy and strong. But our gunners were stout, so when we sailed out, we took all their treasure along. We took all their treasure along. Now the wenches who dwelt in Port Royal ran away when we came in a fright. But a buccaneer's way has its own kind of sway. They frolicked and danced all the night, they frolicked and danced all the night. 'Twas the night the Black Wolf sacked Port Royal. Ah, lads, 'twas a wonderful ride. We drank all their rum, gave the women some fun, and then we sailed out on the tide, and then we sailed out on the tide. Huzzah! Now this next song was written by a dear friend of mine, Brett Blackshear, one of the most gifted musicians I have ever been privileged to play with. So what's he doing here? A magic show. Curious magic on the King stage if you get a chance. But this song is meant to outline all of the dangers of that terrible demon, rum.
Really out of character.
Please, sir, be my guest. I'll say this and get it out of the way. The battered hide on yonder board holds all the wealth I bear, and all that stands twixt me and doom is what kind hearts put there. So when I'm done, if I've eased your cares, if I've helped you shed a woe, there lies the hide, and what to do, that I'm sure you'll know. All right, about the demon rum.
It's my job.
A dirty bum approached a man and stopped him on the street. He begged the man for money to get a bite to eat. The man asked, will you just buy beer or gamble it away? The bum said, nay, my lord, I'd never treat your gift that way. The man said, then come home with me, delay your roving rambling, so my wife could see what would happen to me if I gave up drinking and gambling. It's later than you think, our lives are just a blink. We've stories to tell, so live them well and give me one more drink. A young man walking down the street, he'd had a pint or three, had one foot on the sidewalk, the other on the street. He walked like that an hour, a stagger to his gait. Seemed his uneven path was more than he could take. The sheriff did come up to him and ask him, was he drunk? The man replied, thank God, and cried, I thought my leg had shrunk. It's later than you think, our lives are just a blink. We've stories to tell, so live them well and give me one more drink. Now these two old friends sat drinking, as they had for many years. They laughed at all the times they'd had too many beers. And as they sat partaking, one gets a misty eye and begs a favor of his friend, should he be first to die. Will you pour a beer upon my grave in case I get a thirst? Well, his friend agreed to do the deed, but he'd go through his bladder first. Later than you think, our lives are just a blink. We've stories to tell, so live them well and give me one more drink. Now this song's been rather silly, and now it's almost through. I'd like to thank you kindly for letting me sing for you. And let me say just one more thing before we all must part. For now the jokes are over, and I mean this from my heart. To sing for you's my honor, I tell you this in song. I hate goodbyes, no tears, no sighs, so I'll just say so long. Now, the last two songs I cannot do without a mug in my hand. It would be sacrilege. I would probably be struck by lightning on the spot. Except my skull doesn't want to give me my goblet. Let go. Let go. Thank you. All right then. Now to all of us who love good ale, this next man was a saint. And I'll undertake to thrash the rogue that dares to say ain't. Now it's true, he was an Englishman, but we can't fault him for that. He is not to blame. His parents chose that place to hang their hats. But he's brought joy to many a night, made pubs ring to their tops. So raise your glass and drink a toast to that great man, Charlie Mops. All right, now this is another one of those songs where I will need your assistance. You have 4 very important lines. You may want to get out a quill and vellum and jot these down, because I need you to remember them. Now, your first line is beer. You all got that? Beer. All right. Your second line is beer. All right. Your third line is beer. Okay. And your fourth and all-important line is beer. Beer. Okay. All right, so that's beer, 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 and then repeat. All right. You've all got that? All right. A long time ago, way back in history, when all there was to drink was nothing but cups of tea, along came a man by the name of Charlie Mops. He invented a wonderful drink and he made it out of hops. He might have been an admiral, a sultan, or a king, and to his praises we shall always sing. Look what he has done for us, he's filled us up with cheer. The Lord bless Charlie Mops, the man who invented beer, 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 beer. Now a barrel of malt, a bushel of hops, you stir it with a stick. Just the kind of medicine to keep you amongst the quick. 20 pints a day, they say, will keep away the quack.